Chamber of Commerce Construction and Government Contracting panel discussion. This is the culmination of our 4 workshop series moderated by Julie, Irvin Hartman, and Susan Repka. It is a great honor to see so many people return to this panel discussion who are part of all of our workshop series. So thank you so much. Hopefully you have learned a lot of information to become certified and bid on some of their upcoming projects. Today would not be possible without our sponsors, and we are grateful to our title sponsor, Houston Community College Procurement Small Business Development, and we thank Veronica Douglas for her leadership and sponsorship. Today we have Christopher Burton of HCC, who is a panelist, but will also give some opening remarks. Good morning, Christopher.
Good morning. Good morning, attendees. Thank you so much, East End Chamber, for having us today. My name is Christopher Burton, and I am representing Houston Community College System, one of the largest college systems in the country, and our small business development program. We are very honored to be here today and to be a sponsor. And I just wanted to highlight the good work that my colleague, Ms. Veronica Douglas, does in the Houston community, doing outreach and helping our small and diverse businesses to do business with Houston, not only Houston Community College, but other governmental entities. We have an annual expo that we hope you'll look into that's posted online on YouTube. So if you're interested in learning more about HCC, you can go to YouTube and Google the Houston Community College Expo and learn more. So thank you so much for letting us present today and be a part of this, this panel. And I expect us to do some wonderful things and sharing a lot of good information today. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Christopher. And we'll find that link to the HCC event and put it in the chat room while this program is going on. But we also want to thank our gold sponsors, Manhattan Construction and Block Companies. Without their support, this wouldn't be here possible, and we're just so grateful for their participation. We're also going to include links to their websites in the chat room. And last but not least, we want to thank our individual sponsors, RDLR, whose offices are here in the East End. It's an amazing architectural firm. And then also Lift Fund. Thank you both so much for all that you do for our community. At the Houston East End Chamber of Commerce, our mission is to connect businesses to promote economic expansion and investment here in the East End. And we are so proud to connect with Julie Irvine and Susan Repka, experts in helping you with construction and government contracting. As we slowly get back into in-person meetings, we want to make sure that you take advantage of this opportunity to network. In the chat room, make sure that you put your questions and just reach out to some of the speakers that are here today. It's going to be very important for us to get back to near normal. And now it is my honor to introduce you to Susan Repka, President, SMR Business Services, and Julie Hartman, Certified Proposal Manager. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks so much, Francis. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be facilitating this entire series, as well as the panel that we're ending on today with these 6 amazing industry leaders and people that are actually making a whole lot of things happen within Houston. We've got today a lot planned, and we've got it grouped in 3 different chunks. So we'll start off first with the University of Houston and Manhattan Construction Group. Then we'll open it up for a question and answer period. So please raise your hand in the chat. And then we'll repeat your question and then open up the microphones for the panelists. Our intent today is to make this as open, interactive, and engaging as possible. So we are looking to each and every one of you participants to make that happen. Then we're going to start the second part of today's panel discussion with Houston Community College and Tellefson. Open it up once again for a question and answer period. And our third and closing group is UTHealth and the Henshaw Group with the final Q&A. Then we'll turn it back over to Francis and closing thoughts from the chamber. Susan and I want to continue the conversation with each and every one of you, and we have our contact information here. And we thank you for your 90 minutes today. But in order to capitalize on your time today and all of the great knowledge that these panelists are going to be sharing with you, it's critical to have an action plan. So get your coffee ready, get your notepad ready, open up your computer, and get ready to take a ton of notes and change the trajectory, not only as you, as small businesses within the community, but as trajectories within your own companies. Our first speaker today is Dr. Linelle Clark, the director of the Hub Operations Program with the University of Houston. Please welcome Dr. Clark.
Moving from the title, the first thing that I wanted everyone to know is that the Hub program, we have 24 colleges that we're supporting, 24 colleges and divisions that make individual procurements, as well as each one of the colleges has a Hub utilization goal. So these are the colleges that I'm responsible for looking at to make certain regarding missed opportunities. Brandon Davis is the senior Hub specialist and my primary contact for construction projects, along with Shalana Williams, who handles our B2G program, which is used for construction, capturing construction information and data. Unlike the other colleges where I've assigned different goals to try to get them to what will meet the state requirements, the goals for construction, we follow the same goals that are assigned by the Comptroller's Office. So this is the copy of the information that was submitted and is on the Comptroller's website as far as our semi-annual report in terms of what we've attained to date. And as you can see, there is definitely room for improvement. And to let everyone know, a copy of these slides will be made available after the presentations. These next several slides will just give you an idea in terms of some of our new construction projects. This is in no way representative of all of our projects, but basically the new ones, and as well as some that are projected to start. So this gives you an idea of what are the types of projects and who are the prime contractors that have who are working on these projects for us. We also had continuing service agreements with construction materials testing for Terracon Consultants and Professional Service Industries were the primes for those, and they're not shown here. We have a science building landscape renovations project that's going to be coming up, and then the Worthing landscaping, as well as some other projects, are already posted. Anything 25,000 and above, it's definitely posted on the ESBD. So please check the ESBD, and our agency number is 730. On our website, there's additional information about, we have a Hub vendor database. This is important for those who, especially who are interested in doing projects directly with U of H in the maintenance side, facilities and maintenance, some of our smaller projects. Our project managers will refer to our internal Hub database to identify vendors for these projects, as well as I will make certain that when I become aware of projects that may be of interest, that I send those to you as early as possible so that you can put it on your calendar if you're interested in pursuing those opportunities. Our website, please check out our website. There's a lot of information there. I send out to our construction and all of our hubs what we call our Did You Know newsletter. That letter contains information, especially one of the articles that we covered was some of the lessons learned or feedback regarding when you do presentations, when you're shortlisted, some common errors or mistakes that I see people may be making. We also had a matchmaking event, and that's what for the construction area, I called it Ready, Willing, and Able. And that was so important in terms of trying to establish an opportunity or venue for prime contractors to meet others, meet hubs that they may not be aware of that other prime contractors are using. For example, for that event, myself and several UT Austin, UT Systems, and UT A&M all participated, and we all brought prime contractors to the tables that we were working with or have worked with. And those prime contractors brought a hub that they had worked with, and then the hub invited a guest. And we did a round robin in breakout rooms where there was an opportunity for some more in-depth conversation to start the relationship building. Because as we know, people like to do business with people that they feel they trust and people that they know. So how do we open that door or opportunity for hub contractors to meet hubs that they may not be familiar with, but who have proven themselves with other prime contractors? So I hope that was the first time we did that matchmaking event, and I look forward to doing it again. Again, I mentioned about the proposal development and shortlist presentations. Again, that information was identified within our newsletter. The construction management talent pipeline program, that was something new that we started as well, with the idea that all hubs to try to create or facilitate an avenue for hubs that are interested in being primes. What are some of the skills that you may not be familiar with? How do we provide you with that opportunity? So our faculty at the UH Construction Management Department helped create a short workshop or classes rather. And we held those and I worked in partnership with NAMAT to help identify hubs that would be eligible to participate, as well as my internal construction and management staff and prime contractors and others served in terms of providing feedback and speak as guest speakers. So it was a very interactive, it was a formatted classroom learning opportunity that, again, this was the first time we tried this, and hopefully we plan to continue this program. My department also provides HSP courtesy reviews. And then for non-construction, we do what I call targeted hub vendor fairs. And again, on my website are additional information for resources. So it looks like I'm well within my time, but this slide also has my contact information as well as my staff information.
Thank you so very, very much, Dr. Clark. And we have put Dr. Clark's bio in the chat, as well as the contact information that she had on her last slide. Her slides will be sent to all of the registrants after this session. So you'll get that email later today. Our next speaker is Jason Fuller, Vice President for the Houston Division with Manhattan Construction. Welcome, 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 Jason.
Thank you very much, Julie. And thank you. Good morning to everyone. My name is Jason Fuller. I manage the Houston operations for Manhattan Construction Company. Just thanks to the Chamber, I've gone back through the information that Julie and Susan put together. This has just really been an exceptional series, an exceptional resource, and we're just thankful to be a part of it. So a little bit about Manhattan Construction Company. We've been operating in Houston continuously for over 80 years now. We are a 125-year-old family company, actually based out of Oklahoma originally. We're not from Manhattan, New York, nor Manhattan, Kansas. I think we're actually so old, we're not exactly sure why we're called Manhattan Construction Company. But we operate in our regions, which are Houston, Dallas, Oklahoma, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and Florida. So as we share our resources on how to work and how to contact and get pre-qual with Manhattan, if you've got any operations or folks that work in those regions, please reach out to us as well. Focused on Houston, we have traditionally worked in many different market sectors here. A great deal of our work is municipal and government work, so fits in quite nicely with this series. City of Houston, Harris County have been major clients of ours, and we're actively working on numerous projects for the city and the county. One that's coming up that we'll be procuring over the next 6 months, we'll be up near Atascocita for Harris County for the CSCD Atascocita Dual Diagnosis Residential Facility. So keep an eye out for that. We do a lot of aviation work. With HAS, we've been operating at Bush Intercontinental Airport for over 25 years. We've got several projects going there for United, as well as reconfiguring the checkpoints in Terminal C. So we're very proud of that relationship with HAS. Education is a big part of our business as well. I'm proud to say we've done work with 2 of our panelists here, both U of H and HCC recently. Active projects at Texas A&M. We also do a bit of select K through 12 work. We've actually got a project bidding next week that may interest some of y'all that I'll point you to on Building Connected. Also known for sports and healthcare. And a lot of the work we do in town is some of the more technically complex work. That's what we tend to get into, some of the difficult jobs. And really on the East End, we've got a couple landmarks. Dynamo Stadium we built a number of years ago, and we're also proud of a project we did for the county at 5900 Canal. That's the offices of both Constable Trevino and the district clerk. That was the old Continental Can Company that we worked with Kirksey and the county to convert to offices. That's where it was kind of fun. We were able to help Kirksey and Gonzo 247 when they worked the rebirth of the nationality mural there. So that's a project we're very proud of. So most of our work here is government contracting. Probably 80% of our Houston business is municipal work we do. In DC, we do a lot of federal work, not so much here. It's mostly municipal. And part of that is, one of our major focuses here in pre-con in our office is working with small and diverse minority businesses. Lael Ellis leads our program. She leads our outreach. She collaborates with our pre-con team that's led by Raylena Browning, who is our pre-construction director. And really, it's a focus of all of us, from my seat as vice president all the way down to operations, of helping mentor, bring on small businesses, and really help you folks survive, or thrive and build your business. We average about 25% to 40 small MWSBE on all of our projects, regardless if there's a program or not. That's something we take pride in. Because really, as a construction manager, traditionally we had self-performed quite a bit of work, back through 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. That's changed a bit. Houston has a very wide range of trade contractors. We do self-perform some work, but the bulk of our work is done by trade partners and contractors such as yourself. Our main task for an owner, especially a public owner, any public, private entity, anyone that's going to build a project, is for us to dig in and build the best team of contractors at that specific period of time for that specific project, right? And that takes the resources of contractors like you. All contracting is tricky. There's a lot of risk points. Government contracts is especially so. There's a lot of sometimes extra paperwork, extra things that you have to do. It keeps some people away, but those of you that can take the extra effort and use the resources that this series has provided, you can thrive. So as being a contractor that does a lot of that, we take pride in helping provide resources where needed. A lot of times some resources or a little assistance with things like insurance, bonding resources, safety, financial capabilities. Obviously, as we go through our pre-qualification process, we want to help partners like you find those resources, grow your business, and thrive. The more resources that we have from a trade contractor perspective, the better off we all are, not only from us as the general contractor to the owners, to the entire community. And that's what we want to help to do. So, how can you work with us? I think we've got all of the information, I think, has been shared on the chat. On our ManhattanConstructionGroup.com or ManhattanConstruction.com website, there is a trade partner platform. If you are not set up as a vendor, there is a short form that will get that information. If you click what region that you do work in, if you click Houston, that goes to Melissa Boyd, who's a couple offices away from me. She gets that information. She'll reach out to you and give you a packet of information to get pre-qualification. Put all your information in there and start that process, and then you will start. We've got also another portion of the website that has our live online plan room, which is building connected. You can see those opportunities across the company, but just reach out to myself, reach out to Raylena Browning, reach out to anyone on our office, and we will get you set up as a vendor and get you into those opportunities. So again, appreciate the time. Thanks for being here, and I'll turn it back over to Julie.
Thanks, Jason. We put the link for Manhattan's website as well as the email address, and Melissa and the entire team at Manhattan is phenomenal. And any question that you have, they will walk you through it and are dedicated to having you start off on the size of project that is appropriate for your company, your skill set, your capacity, as well as your capabilities. So we're going to open up for our first question and answer period.
David Delaney has a question in the chat.
Okay, David, yes, we'll take your question first. So David's question is, what's Manhattan's position on joint venture opportunities with minority prime general contractors on large projects with municipalities, airports, universities, and etc.? So we'll turn that right over to you, Jason.
Yeah, well, thanks for the question, David. That's a great one. We do it all the time. We are actively in joint ventures for several aviation projects right now. Actually, I mentioned Lael Ellis. She is actually getting ready for a online presentation for a very large project at DFW that we have several joint venture partners. So yes, that's typically something that's done and something we've done for many years. And I would just reach out to me with your information. Would love to meet you and talk about some potentials there. Yeah, mute Julie.
Next question. Is Manhattan affiliated with any labor organizations or unions? Back to you.
We typically partner in our markets with organizations and unions. It depends on the market, right? But that's something that we traditionally have done over time. So yes, specific to projects and specific to regions.
There was a question that was previously asked, and we'll take this to you, Dr. Clark, regarding U of H and the hub certification, which is a state certification, and wanted to just give you the floor to make sure that we answered that question appropriately, and if you wanted to elaborate a little bit more on the hub certification that U of H accepts.
Yes, thank you. The University of Houston, just so that people know, we are a state agency. So in order for us, which means that we have hub requirements, and to meet those hub requirements, not only does we have to work with hubs, you have to be certified by the state of Texas as a historically underutilized business, but also you have to be paid, and it has to be documented within a certain period of time for us to even get the credit. And all of that information is covered in the Did You Know newsletter, as well as we send reminders to people. And then again, a quick reminder, if you're interested in doing projects, work on our maintenance projects, the best way for us to know about you is to establish a vendor profile that is specific to the UH Hub vendor database. Again, that information is available on the UH website. So we do not accept other certifications other than the state of Texas Hub certification.
Thank you so much, Dr. Clark, for the clarification. We have a question from Tanika. Brand Rebirth sells promotional products. Are there opportunities with Manhattan Construction? Should I complete the trade partners vendor information?
That's a great question. So reach out to us directly, because when you complete the trade partners vendor information, that is really information related to folks that we would subcontract with. So it's got financial information, it's got bonding capacity. So your product is something that we do use, right? We've got a topping out event, next week for a project for the city of Houston that we use promotional projects for, but that would be an open purchase item. So why don't you just reach out directly to us? You can send me an email or send an email through that, but I would not, since you're not going to be contracting, that would be open purchase. You do not need to go through that pre-qual process.
Thanks. That's a great question, because we do have some people on here that are not, that support construction, but are not, wouldn't be directly on site. And we're also going to put Melissa's contact information in the chat. Continuing in our certification world, we have a question from Victoria. Does Manhattan accept Metro SBE certification?
Well, that's a great question as well. So that is a project by project basis. That depends on the contracting entity that we are building a project for, right? So, for example, when we build projects at U of H, that would be in line with the program that Dr. Clark prescribed. That's what we are implementing. If we do a project for the city, it's through the city OBO. The county now has their Office of Economic Opportunity, so they've got their own program. So that is we abide by the program that the owner of the project sets.
With Biden's push for the infrastructure bill, how do you foresee this impacting the construction industry market, specifically in Houston?
I think it's going to be very positive. I think most of the owners that we're talking to are, as a contact at the airport said, they're getting their shopping cart out. They're just trying to figure out what their shopping list is. So most entities that we see from our side, and I can let the other panelists jump in if they've got some info, is that they know it's coming. They are making efforts to exactly find out what the process is to go get that grant money. But especially in the aviation industry and some of those other sectors, that it's coming. It's just going to take a little while for that process to come through and the money to land.
Thank you so much, Dr. Clark and Jason. All right, David, we're going to actually save your question that you just put in the chat for the next grouping, if you're okay with that due to time constraints. Or if, Jason, you want to respond to David and Victoria in the chat. All righty, our next speaker and panelist is Christopher Burton. He is the Director of Procurement Operations for the Houston Community College District. Thank you so much, Chris.
Good morning, everybody. Great to be here today. It's a great day at Houston Community College. Not unlike our colleagues, government colleagues here in the city of Houston, we're opening things up and a lot of activities going on around our buildings, and a lot of activity in support of student success. So great to be here. Want to, I guess, highlight our program. So we are not a state agency, and so we have other statutes that we have to follow. And our program is our program is called the Small Business Development Program, and it is managed by Ms. Veronica Douglas, who couldn't be here today, so I'm supporting her. Most of you that have worked within diversity here in the local community, you know Veronica. She's out and about, and she is a mover and a shaker and a huge proponent for small businesses. And we work very closely together with Veronica, with our strategic sourcing partners, to identify certified small businesses every day. We want to do business with you. We have a policy that enables us and we are seeking to do business with you. So we do not certify, so that's a really important, I think, distinction to make. We do not certify you as a small business. There are a number of certifications that we accept, including Metro's certification, which we are a very close partner with Metro, and we do a lot of outreach events with them. The city's certification as well. The SBE, MBE, WBE, PDBE, and DBE are all accepted. So within our construction projects, we have a 35% goal for certified small businesses. So there are typically points added to an RFP when we do an RFP for a construction project related to meeting or exceeding the goal. And so we are very proud of our past performance in meeting this goal of 35% total spend with certified small businesses. We do an annual expo for our certified small businesses and diverse businesses. This year it was a virtual expo, and we had a great presenter. Keynote speaker was Mario Ellie, who is a Houston Rocket great, and we really appreciated his kind words about Houston Community College and the work that we're doing in this space. I also did a presentation called You Want to Sell to Government? What's Next? Small Business. And so if you're interested in checking that out and learning more about Houston Community College, feel free to look at the YouTube. It's posted to YouTube, and you can check out our event this year that was virtual. Of course, going forward, next March, we look forward to having an event on campus, and typically we have a lot of partners from government that participate in that event as well. So we are out and about looking for folks, helping folks figure out if there's opportunities with HCC, and if there aren't opportunities with HCC, we really try to help small businesses and diverse businesses. We help them and educate them and kind of point them in the right direction. So it's a pleasure to be in this space. I really enjoy this work. I've been doing this type of work, helping small businesses and diverse businesses for about 20 years, and we're in it to win it. I really do appreciate being here today. We have a couple of procurements coming up that kind of fall within our facilities construction type procurements. So we have a new technicians high wire training facility at our Northeast campus that's going to be posted very soon. We post our opportunities that are $50,000 or greater to our website under our procurement website, as well as ESBD, Electronic State Business Daily, which is essentially the state's primary posting platform for government procurement. We also have a collaboration room construction that's going to be hitting the market very soon for our Northeast campus. And as I stated, there's going to be small business goals posted for those projects. Typically 35% is our goal for small business participation. Again, if you have any questions about our program, if you just Google our program, you can get a wealth of information. You can sign up for an email distribution list so that you can get a lot of information. We recommend, if you're interested in doing business with HCC, to register as a bidder with HCC on our website. We use the CMBL, but we're not statutorily mandated to use it. So We, like several other governmental entities, have our own registration, bidders registration to pull bidders lists. So I recommend, if you're interested in doing business with us, to register on our website. And again, we're in it to win it. We're in it to help you. If we can't purchase from you, or we don't buy what you sell, we'll definitely point you in the right direction. So open to any questions, and really appreciate the East End's Chamber's opportunity today to present to you, to talk to you a little bit about Houston Community College, one of the largest college systems in the country.
So much, Christopher. And Susan is putting in the chat the link for HCC's procurement department, so you can go ahead and register. They also have a great newsletter that you can sign up to, and they offer different sessions, different educational opportunities, and their buyers are extremely helpful to answer any questions that you might have on anything. And all of the great and different things that HCC purchases. We're going to transition next to Paul Bain, who is an estimator with Tellefson. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Julie. It's good to be back. This is an exciting webinar, very, very encouraging, the work that you all are doing to foster small business growth here in the Houston area. You know, growth is challenging, as several of the other participants had mentioned. You have to learn how to go through the right door and fill out the right paperwork. And so much of that often seems concealed from the aspiring subcontractor. And I am just so excited to be a part of this webinar series that really helps pull back the curtain and gives, as you said, an action plan, step by step, to gain success with the prime contractors in the area and ultimately for the owners in the area. As you said, my name is Paul Bain. I work as an estimator at Tellefson. Estimators lead the pre-construction charge for Tellefson. So I am actually the primary point of contact for our aspiring subcontractors today on the call when they want to do business with Tellefson. Building relationships, building partnerships, and finding the right opportunity for them to have success and growing success with Tellefson. So it is exciting to be on the call today. Thank you very much. Tellefson has been around 112 years in the Houston area. We are a fourth generation family-owned company operating only in the Houston area. We go as far south as Galveston and as far north as A&M. East to Baytown and west to Katy. And with that comes great responsibility. Our family has longstanding relationships with the prolific builders in Houston, and our unique service proposition centers around the pre-construction effort. So when someone who builds many buildings in the city wants to build a new one, they often reach out to Tellefson long before they contact the architect and begin to talk about what that might cost, what does it look like in today's market, and begin to get advice from the 12 folks on our pre-construction team. And that's a weighty responsibility. We work for many, if not most, of the prolific builders in the city. My esteemed counterparts from the University of Houston and Houston Community College on the call today, we have long-standing relationships that go back decades with both of those entities. We're on both of those campuses right now, and I myself have done work for both campuses, and it's a tremendous opportunity to get to build with these entities and be a part of their mission. Really, at the end of the day, it's about the people that use the buildings and the people that build them. And Tellefson really functions just as a conduit to connect all of you on the phone looking to do great work in the city, to put that great work to use in a project of significance for the people of the city. And that's very exciting. Tellefson builds in a variety of markets, most markets in the city. We focus on what we call projects of significance. So certainly we look for any and all opportunities. We entertain any and all calls, but we're really looking to leverage our longstanding history in the city, our subcontractor relationships, and our buying power to see unique vision come to life. And so that often translates to community projects. We're right now out at the zoo We had the opportunity to participate in their centennial project and do quite a bit of work out there and give all subcontractors an opportunity to participate in that project, where you're going to take your kids and tour the zoo after the fact and look at it and say, hey, I did that. I was a part of this stamp on the city. We often do nonprofit. Many of the nonprofits that you see functioning in the city who have just a few dollars to spend, we help them stretch those dollars as wisely and as broadly as possible to foster their mission. We build for many of the independent school districts in the area and have really enjoyed those projects. Again, tremendous impact on the students in the city, seeing folks grow. And as they grow on up into the higher education, we have the great opportunity to build on many of the higher education campuses in the city and see that education be offered right here in Houston. What a tremendous impact. And then as things as grow even older, we have opportunity to participate in the healthcare industry here in the city and have a lasting mark going all the way back to the first hospitals built in the medical center many years ago, on through the hospitals being built today. We have several hospital projects in pre-construction right now. And so as you can see, we have a broad impact in the city. In addition, we also do quite a bit of office work. I have a mixed-use development project in the Heights right now that I'm working on as well. So we have a broad range here in the city. We're very fortunate to be able to do all of our business here in the city that we love so much. And we really bear that role and responsibility as curators of the city's built environment. When I drive around the city that I grew up in, I love to see the lasting impact that Tellefsen has had on this city that we love so much. And with that responsibility comes great responsibility to foster subcontractor relationships. That's why a call like this is so incredibly important to me and to our company as a whole, because as I said, we function just as a conduit for these opportunities for all of you. And so as we foster relationships in the Houston market over decades, our goal is to constantly foster new talent and partner with you. Our opportunity to do that really lies in two strengths that we offer you. And we've been on the call now 2 times before in this webinar to share some of that with you. And I'll state those again now. The first is our pre-qualification process. And I know my counterpart at Manhattan talked about pre-qualification and how important it is as well. This really, it can seem like a barrier to entry, but it really is about protection of the subcontractor. We work in your best interest to ensure that you have the financial capacity to do the job, to ensure that you're spread out over multiple prime contractors and that not all of your eggs are in one basket, and to ensure that you have the proper safety protocols in place to be successful on a job. Because gosh, running out of money or having a significant accident can end your business quicker than anything else in this industry, and people have long memories. And so as a prime contractor, we want to function in responsibility for you to protect you in that. That said, that might be frustrating as a barrier to entry, but we want to underline the fact that our safety team that we keep on staff, as well as our pre-qualification team, want to work with you. Let's have a meeting. Let's get you into the office after you go through the pre-qualification process, understand where you stand today and how we can help you foster your systems, grow your systems, to see you expand your impact in the Houston market. We want long-term partners at Tellefsen, and we want to foster growth in the city. So it's not just the pre-qualification process. You turn in your forms and you get a readout on what size projects you can do with us, and that's it. We want to encourage you to take the next step, reach out to us, let's have a meeting and find out what you can do to grow your program, and let's form a strategic partnership over time. In addition to that, the pre-construction process, Tellefsen is what they call a construction manager at risk. Many of you are no doubt familiar with this. 99% of our business, we are signed up at the same time that the architect is signed up. So instead of functioning in a hard bid environment where we have one opportunity to take numbers, and those numbers are either successful or unsuccessful, we partner with the owner and the architect over a long period of time to develop the project. And as we do that, we rely heavily on our subcontractor expertise, which is important to you. You're likely in this business because you are an expert you are a technician that has been so successful that you're forming your own business. So I see we're just about out of time. The goal is to participate in the process with us in pre-construction. We want to find the right opportunities for you to be successful on and partner together. So I hope you'll reach out to me after the fact, and thank you again.
Tellefson has been in the East End since inception, and the founder of Tellefson actually took drafting classes at the YMCA. So if you need inspiration at all, if you can grow your capacity from a small business into what truly can happen, Tellefson is definitely an example of that. We'll open it up for questions and answers. We have a question here. As we know, the cost of construction has increased tremendously within the past year with the pandemic, specifically in lumber as an example. This has made the market extremely competitive. How have you been able to maintain competitiveness in the market and create profit within your company? And Paul, if you want to take that.
Or Manhattan.
Or Jason, either one of you, or we can go Paul first and then we'll jump over to Jason.
Yeah, I'd be glad to take a quick stab at it. You know, again, Tellefson CMAR contractors, so we participate over the course of roughly 12 months on each project. And so we had projects that went on the shelf at the beginning of COVID last year that we're pulling off the shelf now. And the goal is for us to stretch the owner's dollar. And so instead of that hard bid, drawings are final, it costs what it costs, we want to leverage our resources to help them get the most that they can for the dollars that they have. And so we have a lot of experience helping them cut where they need to cut, downsize, use alternate materials, use alternate subcontractors to get the building built. And it's really important to get jobs to go right now so we can keep bread on people's tables.
Jason, you want to jump in?
Yeah, Paul's exactly right. I mean, what we've seen over the last 3-4 months has really been unprecedented with the recovery of, kind of post-COVID, a very sharp spike in really everything in the economy, everything that feeds construction, from transportation to raw goods to commodities, combined with a workforce that's having, just now kind of coming out of the house, right? So just like Paul said, Manhattan, it's probably about 80% here, construction manager at risk work with pre-construction services. We still do bid some work that kind of keeps the sword sharp, but it's the same thing. I mean, we've seen just as quick as the market has recovered, there's been a little bit of concern that it's going to stifle itself out because of this aggressive, material and shortage of labor. We're starting to see some of that flatten. I think the index on lumber went down dramatically. I believe it was Tuesday. So we're starting to see some of that production hopefully realign itself and correct itself. But it's just, echo what Paul's saying. It's all about market timing. It's all about helping the owner understand when to go get packages early, go buy things early that you've got to get in to keep the project moving, but maybe do some maybe defer some packages a little down the line to see a little more market stability through the summer. So it's a real deal. We're just every day is a new day. So
it's definitely been an adventure the last 18 to 19 months. That's for sure for all of us. Another question. Seen Tellefson's vehicle in Southern California. Is that the same company?
Is that right? Well, no presence that I know of in Southern California. The family is broad and industrious, and they do have several business interests. Our industrial arm does travel nationally, and so that is entirely possible. But I can't put my finger on a Southern California project to my knowledge. If there was one, I might be tempted to be a part of it.
It would be great to be in California right now. We've got a question regarding small projects. Understanding starting out with a new relationship with either Manhattan or Tellefson, first project would probably be small, probably under $50,000. What is the best way to find these projects as well as perform on them?
Jason, would you like to take this one first and I'll follow you?
that works. So, Paul put it pretty succinctly about the pre-qualification process, not being a barrier to entry, but just the same as your insurance requirements and all the things that we do as a safety net to really support your business and to make sure that we're all going to be successful. But part of that pre-qual process does, for us, and I'm sure Tellefson as well, involves a confidential review of your financials, right? We ask for audited financial statements, and what that really gives us is, how much working capital you have in place, how much bonding capacity, and what is your capacity to take on any given project at any given time. So back to the question, there's no exact limit on what a first project may be for any given subcontractor. A lot of that is a result and a function of that pre-qualification process that really tells you what your bandwidth is. We have done, so there's no set, entry point project is $100,000 or below. That really depends on a robust review of what you've got going on, and our pre-construction department and our operations department. As we get to that point, as we find the opportunities, you find it for us, which is on Building Connected or in one of our outreach events or an event like this. You pursue it. You work with our pre-con team. They're really talking to you every day and going through the scope. We'll bring you in and interview you, and it's really a working process that's tailored to each project and to each subcontractor as we get familiar with working as a team.
I couldn't agree more. If pre-qualification is the key that opens the door, the next step is forming relationships with an advocate. And Tellefson and Manhattan both, with an interest in fostering business in the city, we want you to come through the door. Top of mind awareness, the squeaky wheel gets the attention. Come through the door, introduce yourself, find an advocate to find the right project for you. I have folks contact me all the time, say we want to do business with Tellefson. If they make it successfully through the pre-qualification process, which sort of gauges their level of commitment to working with us, then it's on me to find the right project for them. And at Tellefson, our projects range in size from 3 million to 500 million. And so we have those starter projects. We build for the YMCA all around the city. Those are great starter projects. We build for small community groups that need a contractor with less overhead that's able to be more competitive on their prices. So come introduce yourself, go through the pre-qualification process and show your intention, but take it that next step further, reach out repetitively and challenge me to find the right project for you.
Great. Thanks so much, Jason and Chris. Christopher or Dr. Clark, would y'all like to answer this very similar question in regards to $50,000 non-construction projects? How would someone find these opportunities with HCC? So we'll go to Christopher first and then Dr. Clark.
So the smaller projects, typically, they pop up at HCC, and usually time is of the essence. And much of the time we will utilize what's called a JOC contractor that has a cooperative contract. There's a number of local cooperatives that engage small businesses for JOC contracting. HGAC, Houston Galveston Area Council, would be one of them. So I would really recommend anyone who's looking to kind of break into the business to look at the cooperatives, the local cooperatives, as a possible opportunity for smaller projects. And the smaller projects, as everyone knows, leads to the bigger ones, right? So if you build a resume of small projects, and you have an extremely happy owner, then you're building that resume to take on larger projects. And then that gets the attention of these other larger general contractors. So you can work as a sub, or you can continue to work as a prime for smaller opportunities. But Under $50,000, we would typically utilize a cooperative. And that's not to say that we're just getting one bid. We're pretty active and pretty cutting edge in how we deal with cooperatives. Typically, we compete cooperatives. So there could be multiple general contractors on a cooperative, and we would engage them and compete directly. This it assists with agile procurement. Sometimes an RFP can take upwards of 2-3 months. And so when we have to be agile and quick, we use these cooperatives for smaller projects. So that's kind of what we do.
For the University of Houston, we recently awarded several job contracts. So what I would recommend is on a case-by-case basis, just reach out to me so that I can determine who was selected for that may be applicable for your particular area. Because for our smaller projects, those jobs are used for our maintenance. We don't use the cooperatives for that, unlike HCC. So we have those, and then again, for some of our projects, smaller needs, again, their maintenance and facilities and maintenance will use the vendor database. So again, it just depends on what type of service you provide. So I can best give you advice based on your particular business capabilities. So I would suggest you just reach out to me directly and we can work on something that makes sense, and I'll let you know.
I think we got comments from every single one of our panelists. We got comments on construction projects. We got comments on non-construction projects, question and answers on certification. So we are just working all angles and making sure that there is no rock uncovered. Our next panelist is Shaun McGowan. He is the manager and hub and business program with UTHealth. Thanks again, Shaun, for joining us, and you have the stage.
Okay, yeah, my name is Shaun McGowan. I'm the hub manager at UTHealth. We only post opportunities on our website. Our website is uth.edu, uth.edu. And so go there if you're looking for any type of opportunities. And then also, if you want to reach out to me, my number is 979-777-0533, 979-777-0533. Now, a couple of things about UTHealth. We are the 6th largest med school in America. And so we do a lot of good work for us here in the community. We're also building a new behavioral health hospital. A lot of people don't know, but we manage the Harris County Psychiatric Center for the county. And so we currently have 220 beds at that facility. And so once we get the new facility built, our new behavioral health hospital, we'll have over 450 beds available, which would be the largest behavioral health hospital on any college campus in America. Now, we also are doing a big thing here. I'm pretty sure people heard about it in the news. It's called the TMC3 project. That's going to be a deal between A&M, UTHealth, and MD Anderson. It's going to be over there on OST and Burton. And so it's going to be a big project. So keep your eyes out for that project. Also, what I'm going to do is going to send Julie and Susan, some information about some upcoming projects from our facilities group. Also, we have a thing I got for our buyers prepared for me to show you how the process works for other things besides construction. And so it's very informative. So I will be emailing Susan and Julia information later today. Currently, we have a building being built also in the Burton OST area. Now, this project is being managed by TMC, the Texas Medical Center. So with that being said, Vaughn Construction is the GC on that project. And so if you're interested in that project, email me and I'll put you in contact with the right folks over at TMC. Let's see here. We're also going to build a brand new School of Public Health, which is going to be in the same area. This building will be hopefully be built sometime within the next fiscal year. We'll start building the next fiscal year, and we're looking at maybe $100 million for this new building. So that's be some more opportunities for us construction. And then we're also going to do a what's it called here? Oh, our JLC projects. We have tons of opportunities through our JLC vendor, which is Vaughn Construction. So if you want to be part of the JLC project here at UTHealth, reach out to me and I'll put you with Vaughn Construction. Let's see here. My main goal is to focus on local hubs. And so we do a lot of business with a lot of local folks, but we also have contracts in place with hub vendors. And so we honor our contracts. So say, for instance, stuff like lab supplies, med supplies, that's pretty much locked up because we have hubs that are doing that for us. We also have office supplies, which is also pretty much locked up because we honor our contracts at UTHealth. So, okay, so another thing is I'm going to have my April, my hub vendor fair is going to be in April is coming up this year. And so if you're interested in being a vendor, a hub, now you got to be hub certified. If you're interested, please reach out to me. I have maybe like 25 tables. I would say 15 are already taken. So reach out to me if you want to be participate in my vendor fair, which will be in April. It's going to be at our med school. Also, that'll be my last official function at UTHealth. I plan to retire next year after 33 years of service with the state. So reach out to me if you're going to be part of my vendor fair. And then also, what can I tell you guys? As I said earlier, I'm going to email you guys a list of the upcoming projects, also a list of how to do business with UTHealth. And again, as I said earlier, we only post on our website, which is uth.edu. So go there for any opportunity. If any questions, call me. I'm your #1 advocate at UTHealth. And thanks again for having me here.
Thank you, Shaun. And as soon as we get all of that contact information regarding upcoming projects, the vendor fair, we will definitely include that in the packet. We see a couple questions popping up in the chat, and we're going to go ahead and we'll answer those in the chat. And I'd like to introduce our next panelist that we have with us today. Tony Henshaw is with the Henshaw Group. Take it away, Tony.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. And my name is Tony Henshaw, and I want to thank the East End Chamber of Commerce for the opportunity to speak. After 27 years, I retired from the city of Houston. And at the city, I work in public works, and I manage public works and engineering, small business development program, where I created programs as meet the buyers, small contractor rotation, design a mentor project program. I was responsible for increasing public works professional services from struggling 14% year in, year out to when I left to 49% 4 consecutive years before I left the department. So after leaving the city of Houston, I started my own consulting, take with me all those lessons learned. I had a great opportunity in sitting down and meeting several minority and small women-owned businesses, and had a chance to see some of those people that did it right and some of those that struggled in trying to increase the capacity as business owners. So typically, everybody tells you to get certification. Great suggestion. But what do you do with a certification next? What do you do next as a business owner? How do you do business with a government agency, which I call, how do you market business to business, or how do you market business to government? And I'm going to share, I think I have a few minutes just to share with you. I don't have any projects to share with you, but I've had the chance to work as a consultant since living in the city of Houston with different minority businesses and a whole lot with larger firm where I've done business development, I've done contract compliance work, and I've written a diversity inclusion management program for my clients. So I'm more of the guy that knows where the body is buried. That's the joke in the city of Houston. But I can share with you what I can tell you when I was on the inside. And also I can share with you what I learned when I was on the inside and how to successfully build a small, a minority-owned women business. One of the key things that has been said already by the esteemed panel members is regarding building relationship. Nothing beats building relationship bar none. The next thing is actually truly understanding how to network and manage your networking efforts. I see people that would reach out to me when I was with the city, and they couldn't even articulate to me very well what services that they provide. None of the advocates that you've talked to that are on this panel, or some of the ones that are representing the larger agencies, would tell you this, that if you don't understand what you're selling, if you cannot articulate what you're selling, if you're selling to the wrong person, they don't have much time to spend with you. They'll take your business card, they'll walk away, and you think you've landed a connection, but actually you've not. You need to really understand, what do you do? Are you an engineering company? Are you a supplier? Are you a construction company? Because people use construction as a generic or contractor's generic term, you need to be able to know where do you fall. We'll talk about I've heard about pre-qualification. When do you need it? Do you need it all the time? Do you have a capability statement? When do you use that? Do you give that to a government agency, or do you give that to a business when you're doing your B2B connection? So it's important to really have a strategy, is where I'm going with my presentation, is to have a strategy in understanding what you do, who should you market your service to at what time. So there's a new building being built, and there's architecture services required. It's a government agency, and you do party planning. Would you go out to that outreach event and hand out business cards and waste your time and your resources to chase down a project that has nothing to do with what you do? Or have you strategically looked at it and you've decided you would attend because you want to target a particular person? When Paul Bain was talking and I saw his title, The Estimator, I kind of smiled to myself and I said, and I'm going to throw this out as a question to all the attendees. If you walk into a room and you see the chairman of Telepsin in the room, and you see Paul Bain, and you're a small framing company, or you do landscaping, or you're in construction, what would you run to? What line would you get into? Is it Paul Bain's line to shake hands with Paul Bain and get his information? Or would you stand in line to see the chairman of Telepsin and take pictures with the chairman? Well, I give it an answer. Paul is who I want to go to, because as the estimator, that's the most important person in that room. So this is some of the things you have to understand in trying to grow the capacity of your business. What do you target? What services do you provide? Should you even waste your time trying to target the government directly, which is business to government? Or should you spend your resources and your time doing business to business? Hardly do you see a government procurement come out buying steel. Hardly. So if you're a steel supplier, you should be focusing all your energy in doing a business to business relationship building rather than the business to government as a small business owner, because hardly would they procure your items directly. So this is some of the things that, and then also is the agency going to use an RFP, RFQ? Is it an invitation to bid? You need to really understand the industry that you're in. So when you do talk to the procurement officers, when you do talk to the estimator, you can very well articulate what you're looking for, and you can earn the respect knowing very well that you know what you're talking about and you know your business. A good example is people in technology companies. So they'll say, I'm in technology, and they will leave all the heavy lifting to the procurement officer or to the advocate in the minority in the hub advocate, or to the construction company. to figure out what type of technology are you in. Are you a supplier? Do you do professional services? Are you a design firm? Are you IT? What type of IT firm are you? If you can narrow it down and be able to articulate it quickly at the first handshake, what type of technology do you do? That is how to grow and get government contracts. And then the other key part that most people overlook, especially in construction, if you're a construction company, and I don't care what size you are, your goal is to increase your bonding capacity. If you're not bonded, your goal should be, how do I get bonded and how do I increase the bonding capacity? Do I know how to handle paperwork? The other participants on this panel will tell you, one of the things that makes a subcontractor stands out is a subcontractor understands the paperwork. Can you do certified payroll? Do you have your own employees? Do you self-perform? Do you have a payroll? Do you understand how to submit all the necessary paperwork for the city of Houston? Do you understand the pay or play program? Do you understand the reporting required for pay or play program? I'm going to take a chance and say this. There's some of the Manhattan and also Tellefson will tell you that they are more interested in the paperwork because of the volume of paperwork they have to submit as contractors, and also the paperwork that the subcontractors must submit, that they will value you more first as a subcontractor than how great your work is. Are you bonded? Do you know how to complete? Do you submit certified payroll? Do you know how to do certified payroll? Do you know how to complete? You just mentioned it earlier. Both of you did mention it. But so all this are critical information that you need to know to try to build your business and increase your capacity. It's all strategy. So I think I just saw the timer go off, that my time is up. And but lastly for me is, how do you stay relevant? I know people come in and ask you and have great new ideas. The time it takes to change a spec, the time it takes to change a procurement method to fit the great new idea that you have, I don't think you have the time, and the procurement officer doesn't have the time to change the entire procurement because you have a great idea. Stay relevant, stay within the scope of work, and be able to build a relationship to market your business. I'll go ahead and yield and take questions now.
Tony, thank you so much. And it was when we're scheduling all of the industry experts and panelists, putting you at the end was probably one of the smartest decisions I've made all month. You really just took everything from all of our preceding panelists, as well as your personal and intimate knowledge with all of your years with the city of Houston, growing these programs and walking all of these different companies through the processes and being successful. So thank you so much for just wrapping it all up. I want to put like a big red bow on it. We do have some closing questions that have come through as Tony was chatting. And this one particularly talks about kind of the future of the industry and how to get into it. Any advice for a recent college graduate? As a recent graduate myself and little experience in construction, one thing I've noticed with the construction industry is that experience has equal weight, if not more, than a college degree. Would you attest to that? And what advice would you have in regards to a career in construction?
Well, you said it. Does experience have better value than a college degree? I don't want to knock a college degree and all the hard work that goes into getting one. But yes, experience is critical. My advice would be to work for someone, to learn the trade, and your college degree will give you an advantage, in terms of trying to in terms of the paperwork and understanding the financials and be able to catch on. So some of the experience that I have when I worked for the city were great contractors. I mean, they could put together, they could lay a brick in their sleep, but they struggle with the paperwork that's required. They're struggling with the financials. They're not bonded because of they get overwhelmed by the financial records that they have to produce. So you have an advantage having a college degree and then going to construction. My advice would be get experience, get under somebody that can mentor you and you can work and then use that advantage you have with a college degree to get ahead.
And Paul, we'll pass that same exact question to you. Any additional comments?
Yeah, Tony, well said. Most of your larger GCs are fostering relationships with college graduates in an effort to grow their talent pipeline. I actually run Tellefson's intern program where we're working with college students to expand their experience with the intent to hire them long-term based on their college degree. It is not a prerequisite, though. You can come up through the field, growing your experience and learning what we do by working for a general contractor. I would echo that, but get in with a company that you can grow with and see a lot of construction. You know, it's a shameless plug for pre-construction, but if you can find your way into an estimating department, if you're out in the field, you're seeing one project at a time for a year or more. If you're in the estimating department, you're seeing 5 projects a week and learning a whole lot more about construction a whole lot faster.
Tag on to that. I mean, Tony and Paul, you know, just to kind of echo what they said, there's no right answer to that, right? College education, any kind of education or advancement is critically important. The construction industry is somewhat unique, though. There is a lot of different facets that you can only gain by experience. You know, the education will give you the tools. It will teach you how to finish projects, do time management, all those kind of vital aspects that are crucial to any kind of business. But, you know, we say here at Manhattan, we try to develop 5 tool players. You have to know, first, construction assemblies, how buildings go together. You have to know how to schedule proficiently. You have to know cost management. You have to understand the pre-construction process. And then you have to know how to deal with clients, if you want to call it business development or just how the general business works. And those are a lot of different functionalities to a construction process that the answer is both. You need you've got to have the education experience as well as the in the field construction experience to develop every one of those facets that you need for the business.
And Christopher.
Oh, I just wanted to say to that person who's trying to break into construction management, Houston Community College has a construction management technology program. You can earn certifications you can earn an associate's degree, but you can also earn certifications, which, you know, really helps our local general contractors, because then you've got credentials when you come to them and show them what you can do. So I would highly recommend that. I also know University of Houston within the College of Technology, which is a college where I've taught, also has construction management. So you've got a lot of great opportunities for learning this specific category and getting into the game. So just a couple of highlights there for that person. A lot of opportunities to learn.
And I just wanted to add to that for the University of Houston Construction Management department, you actually get a degree, but in order to graduate from that program, it's a 4-year degree. In order to graduate from the program, you must be placed in paid internships.
Great, thank you. Thank you everyone for tackling that question from every angle. Going to go to some non-construction. Staffing and executive search opportunities. So we'll start with you, Dr. Clark, and then pop to Chris and then Shaun. In regards to, if you could discuss how to handle staffing and executive search opportunities within your college and university.
For whoever's on the line, you missed the opportunity. I have been repeating, especially if you're in non-construction as well, if you had established a vendor profile in our UH database, you would have been notified early. You may have received on the scene from purchasing. We just recently had a proposal request for executive search. Or it's, and it may still be open, I'm not sure, or coming up. I think it may be closed, but it would have been on the ESBD. But we do periodically have that need. So again, it's so important to stress, please establish a profile in the UHub database so that I can make certain that you are aware of these opportunities.
Executive search, we're in the middle. I can't speak too much about it because we have rules around blackout, but we're in the middle of contracting. We just went through a procurement process. So same thing, register as a bidder on the HCC procurement website so you can get an opportunity the next time it goes out. And then related to temp agency, we do some temping and we do a lot of gap filling. Got a request the other day from somebody who needs a person that has experience with running sound in a meeting on a soundboard. So instead of having to hire someone like that, we're going to use our temp. And as I had mentioned before, we have local cooperatives that have contracts with certified small businesses, and we go to those certified small businesses on a daily basis. So there are opportunities to get on those cooperatives, and HGAC is one of the Houston Galveston Area Council is one such cooperative that you can look into and possibly get a contract and be able to sell directly to government. So that would be my guidance.
Very much. Thank you, all of our industry leaders, our panelists, for all of your knowledge. And we're going to start wrapping things up. Francis with the East End Chamber has some closing thoughts. But once again, just wanted to reiterate that a gold mine of information is even an understatement of everything that the panelists have shared. And I guarantee you, personally guarantee you, if you take half of all of the content today and put it into actions within your company, you will definitely be successful and grow within the government space. These people are dedicated and truly and personally committed to your success. So thank you again for being here today. Thank you for joining us at the East End Chamber. Make sure to become a member. Please complete the survey. Rewatch today's session. It'll be posted eventually on the Chamber's website, the same exact website that you registered, the same website that we already have, the 3 of the 4 sessions posted. We referenced a few of them in the chat, particularly the one about bonding and getting your house in order. I'm going to repeat it again. I don't know how many times each panelist said, reach out to me, email me, call me. I mean, what an opportunity to establish these relationships and have people help you through everything. And closing comments are going to turn it back over to Francis with the closing thank you and appreciation to all of our sponsors.
Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you so much, Susan, and our amazing panelists. Thank you to our title sponsor, HCC Procurement Small Business Development, and especially Veronica Douglas. Thank you to our gold sponsors, Deidre Barrett at Block Companies and Manhattan Construction. We really, really appreciate your support. If you are not a member of the Chamber, please reach out to me. My email and phone number are in the chat room or it's on the website. If you were to pay for a workshop series like we had and today's session, it would cost you more than $200. So you do get a good return on your investment here with the East End Chamber of Commerce. I highly recommend that you go to our website, like our Facebook page, LinkedIn page, and let's all stay connected. Find out some of our future events like July 8th. We're having a Chamber Connect happy hour at Acadian Coast. On October 6th, we're having our golf tournament. On November 4th, we're having our Port Houston Appreciation Day. So make sure that you follow the link in the survey for in the chat room and fill out the form now so we have your captive audience. We promise it will not take long, and this will help us get future programs and make them even better. So all the father and father figures out there, I want to wish you all a happy Father's Day. And thank you again to all of our panelists